Alright, what is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back with another live stream for you guys. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider that subscribe button below if you're into networking with a bunch of like-minded people. And definitely consider checking out our Discord group chat. It's one of the first couple links, I believe, down below. If you're wondering, we usually do this every single day. If you look at one of my previous videos, I go in detail on why I haven't been uploading, or not uploading, been going live a lot recently with moving and having some, not necessarily health issues, but just dizzy spells and whatnot that I'm trying to get straightened out, which is what the glasses are for, actually. So hopefully it will continue to improve. Today I haven't been doing too bad really either, so I figure I'll go ahead and try to hop on here at least for a little bit and just network with you guys, since we haven't actually done a live stock market trading, actual trading specific video in a while now. So really what I'm looking out for, as you can see, like I said, I have UVXY up here now because I actually forgot I had like 2 puts that expire next Friday, June 8th, on that. So you can tell that they're doing not too bad right now. Actually, they're at like break even because I placed them way too early. I placed it, when was it? I believe during Monday's sell-off. Actually, I placed it right in the middle of the sell-off. It was when UVXY was just a little bit above 12, if I remember right. It was when it was at like 12.05, 12.15. Obviously, it continued to spike up. So with theta and everything, I was actually in a pretty deep hole. So right now, I'm pretty much dead at break-even. I think I was up $2 last time I seen it, but again, it's only 2 puts, so nothing big. I'm looking to possibly go ahead and dump them so I don't have to worry about them over the weekend. Another thing I'm looking at, SPY. If it can keep on creeping up, what I'm interested in seeing is that even though SPY is trying to creep up, UVXY is kind of just consolidating right around 1150, 1145 right now. And VIX in general, if I recall, VIX hasn't really been moving much either lately. Today, let me pull up the one-day chart. Go ahead and zoom in here. So, I mean, yeah, it made a new low actually within the last few minutes of 1337, but it's been kind of just hanging out right around 1340, 1350, not quite 50, probably around 1345. But either way, point being is it's just a little interesting to see that the last like half hour to really, I would say the last hour or so, we just kind of hung around 1345 to 1350 on the high end. So what I'm looking for with SPY, an entry point on puts, I'm looking at around 274. Why? Just because why fix what's not broken until it doesn't work anymore? When you pull up, not necessarily the 180 day, overall I am still slightly bullish overall on SPY, but every time we get up near 274, we've gotten rejected time and time again, and I kept saying over and over, 270 is a critical support. We broke it. We came clear down to 267, 268 area. Obviously, we bounced back up majorly the last couple days, but I'm just still not, until we actually break above, like I keep saying, around 275 and hold it and continue on up, and don't break below 270. If we can hold above 270, then great. But what do I always stress to you guys, and myself even? Buy the dip, sell the rip. So obviously the markets are up pretty big today, up about 1%. I think the Dow's the Dow's up about, everything's up roughly 1% or higher right now. So why would I consider buying any calls unless if they're like long term? Even I wouldn't even consider buying calls period today. I never want to buy calls whenever the market is up like 1%. That's just dumb. It's retarded, to be honest. I mean, it's just anyone that's saying to buy right now. Obviously CNBC saying, oh, the market's going. You just listen to CNBC Monday and listen to them today. You can tell literally, it's almost like when they're long the market, short the market. They're not stupid. They know to buy the dip, sell the rip, rinse, repeat. And what are they going to do? They're going to try to keep telling everybody, go ahead and buy, go ahead and buy, go ahead and buy. That way they can get it to the point they want. Then boom, go ahead and sell. But it's not even just CNBC. I'm just saying news in general. People in general are bad about trying to pump up the markets overall. Obviously, it takes millions of dollars, but either way, it's just crazy hearing all these analysts saying to buy right now. How's it going, Tyler? Been a long time since I heard from you. How's it going? But I did go ahead and sell my Apple call. So before I get into SPY and like my exact entry and whatnot, I had some Apple calls. They were 187.50 if I recall, and I believe that's what I did. I can go ahead and take a look at it here in a minute, but it was super bullish right out of the gate, and I actually sold a little too early just because I did not like even though I knew it was a bullish setup, I didn't figure we were actually going to keep on going, in all honesty. We might actually get to 190 today, but I went ahead and sold it somewhere in around the 189.30 mark. Either way, I made like 30%. I made a quick $153, I believe it was. If you're in my Discord chat, you know my exact profit and when I sell and everything like that. I only had 2 calls, just a small position. I took that, on Tuesday, whenever we had the sell-off. What was that, Tuesday, if I remember right? Yeah, so yeah, because it was the first day of the week. Get my days mixed up with the holiday. I purchased these on Tuesday during the sell-off, and just throughout the week, just been holding them. They were up and down, then finally they were up big this morning. So I just went ahead, locked that quick, like 30% profit, and moved on. Still holding them Apple calls. Yeah, I mean, I think it will hit probably 190 today, in all honesty. And I was thinking about holding out until then, but I just know every time that I get in that mindset of I'm going to hold till this point, it doesn't get reached, and then I end up losing the profit that I should have just locked in. So I'm kind of being more conservative than I was when I first started doing options, and I mean, it's been working out. I'm consistently locking in roughly like 30% profits now. Another thing I'm doing is I'm hardly messing with weekly options at all anymore. I'm doing at least like 2 weeks out. And I mentioned in Discord, going forward as my account continues to grow, I'll probably push more towards monthly options. Just again, take the risk out. I won't have to literally sit at my computer almost, not 24/7, but like 6-7 hours a day to try to catch every pop or anything. As long as I do my technical analysis, trust the pattern, whatever, I can just check up on it and then make the sales, lock the profits, whatever, as needed. Let me see here. Monthly options, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, literally, the further you go out, the more safer it is, the more you can sleep at night. Weekly, I mean, you're almost buying lottery tickets, especially what I was doing at first. Whenever I was doing options, I was doing weekly out of the money calls, because I mean, you're talking like damn near 80% less cost. So I mean, of course it's attractive of course it's super attractive because it's such a cheap cost, which when it comes to like SPY, I can understand why lately with SPY people have been doing like out of the money. Like I know a lot of people right now are probably placing puts around 270 for like weekly or 2-week options, which at the moment I can slightly understand, because why, that's been the general range, 270, or as of late 267, but generally 270 to 274 has been the range. So I can slightly understand why they do that. It's just too much risk for me. Like I was talking on what was it? I think it was Stock Twits actually. People were talking about where they were placing puts, and I was like, if I place any puts today, it's probably going to be a deep in the money, like 274, 274.50. At least a June 15th expiration date. It's going to cost probably $300 to $400, but if there's some trade bullshit that goes on over the weekend, you know Monday will come in, have a big sell-off, and then I'll lock in my 20-30% profit, move on. So, check my Discord. Let me see. Is this, let me see, let me pull this up. Is this your thing, Tyler? Let's see. Oh, it's like a guide, essentially, for options. Okay. You'll have to look into that. Yeah, thanks for posting that. So, anyone that's in the Discord chat, definitely look at the link that Tyler put in there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just, I've developed a lot as a trader, especially when it comes to options, just within the last probably 2 weeks, ever since I've been doing this completely full-time now. I'm pretty much doing this completely full-time, in all honesty. When my birthday comes up, I'll start doing like Lyft and Uber and whatnot. But until then, I'm pretty much doing this full-time. So, and I'm only doing Lyft more to kind of just have the extra cash, so to speak. But yeah, so what happened is last week, like I said, I think, yeah, it was last week, I was up over $1,500, and when you just are doing that good with us, for those of you that don't know, I'm playing with a really small account, only like $2,000 roughly account, so $1,500 was like a huge amount of money for profit for me. So what I do, I was like, okay, I'm doing good, just keep on playing it, and then I had like a minus $800 day. So that's when I kind of had to just step back and realize when you're up that big, I mentioned this yesterday, when you're up that big, just take a step back. If you have to, just take the rest of the week off. That's what I was telling my girlfriend. I said, for now on, when I'm up 1 to 2 grand in a week, I'm just going to take the rest of the week off, unless if something is just blatant obvious. I'll set some alerts. Unless if something is just blatant obvious, like hollering, place calls, place puts, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Like this week now, I'm not up that much because of Monday, but or Tuesday, I mean. But overall, I'm up a couple $100. That's why I'm still trading today. I'm looking for potential moves within SPY. Like I said, I might place a put going into the weekend. Might hedge it with a I forgot what I was gonna hedge it with. Actually, something with VIX, if I remember right. But let me see. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Uber's private. I'm talking about just like what I'm gonna be doing down here in Texas. I just moved to Texas. I was just saying, like, for now I'm doing this full time, but when my birthday comes around, since I'm not 21 yet, I can't do Uber or Lyft. But when I turn 21, I will be doing Uber and Lyft. Again, just for some side cash. But I need to delete some of these really quick. But yeah, that's just something that everyone needs to take into consideration whenever you are not even doing this full time necessarily, just doing this in general. When your account is up over 100 to 200%, take the rest of the week off. Like, you earned it. You literally over doubled your account. Like, what much more do you want in a week? Like, don't get greedy and start chasing unnecessary stuff. You might not think you are, but it's just a psychological thing that, like, you don't even notice. Like, I didn't notice it until I actually placed the trade and started seeing stuff go in the opposite direction. I was like, what was I thinking? Like, it's just, you start getting in that groove where you almost feel invincible, and that's when you start to make stupid mistakes that you normally would not have made. So that's just something I'll probably continue to stress over and over and over, because I mean, it literally, if it wasn't for that, this week my account would probably be at like 3 or 4 grand. But since I kind of got greedy and just kind of started slipping on my technical analysis and not letting the stocks come to me, the plays come to me, I'm only like around 1,700 still, which isn't bad. I mean, like I said, last Monday I started with like just around $600-700 because I lost so much over my first couple weeks doing options. So I mean, I'm still overall the last week and a half, 2 weeks now, up over $1,000. So I mean, that's not bad at all. But it's just something that I'll probably keep stressing it to the point that people start to get annoyed. Options aren't saying, yeah, especially in this volatile market. Yeah, I'm so ready for either the market to crash or to go on just bullish already. That way it'll be a little bit easier. I do think, like I keep saying, I mean, if SPY can, my first number was 270, now it's 275. If we can get above 275, because 274, 275 is a pretty strong resistance, like we just looked at here on the 180-day chart. You can see overall, yes, we're still kind of bullish of late, but I mean, if you look overall, we're still technically in this downward trend. That's why I mentioned at the beginning of May, I was like, I think by the beginning of June we're going to know either way if we're going back into a bullish market at least for a little bit longer, or going into a full-fledged bear market. And until we break above this is where I would see like the major resistance. If we can get above 275, 274, 275, 279 area will be a major resistance, which would be what, about 2,900 if I remember right on S&P 500. But recently, like the last month or so, 274, not even 275, 274 has been just a major resistance. That's why every time we get above like 273.50, I always play puts, because I mean, it's just been too easy. Every time we see these huge push-ups, what do we see? A day or two of just consistent sell-off. It doesn't always happen exactly like this, but you can see every time we get up near it, boom, sell-off. Got up near it, sell-off. Near it, sell-off. And then obviously earlier this week we had the big sell-off where we tested the ultimate support around 267, 268. So like I said, until that trend gets broke and we reach like 275, where we're well above the 274 resistance and hold above it, then I'll just keep playing it as is. I'm just a little skeptical of doing it going into the weekend, because if we have really good trade news, then that could act as a catalyst for us to bust through the 274 resistance and possibly go up to 275 Monday or Tuesday. So like I said, either way, if I do decide to take a position today, it'll be a 2-week option. That way I'll at least have another week and a half, 2 weeks, because let's be real, the market isn't invincible either way. Even if we do pop up to 274, 275, it'll come back down and probably retest 271, 270 either way. But it's just really interesting times right now, for sure. Apple, $1 trillion company. I mean, I don't see why not at this point. I mean, they don't have that much further to go. Last I checked, I thought I heard, like, if their stock gets up near 215 or something like that, that they'd be the $1 trillion company. 190 is a major resistance for this as well. 190 for Apple's pretty much, I mean, obviously Apple and S&P 500 are not like related at all, but I'm just saying in general, what 190 is to Apple is pretty much what 274 is to SPY. So that's just, it's just, like I said, I'm not saying that it goes hand in hand whatsoever. I'm just saying that from a resistance standpoint, when you look at a bunch of these big time stocks and ETFs, you can see where like the major resistance is recently. So like I said, it's definitely an interesting time. These next few days, next week, is going to be really interesting. June overall is typically a pretty bullish month, so I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to just kind of see how June plays out, in all honesty. Like I said, always buy the dip, sell the rip if you're, when we're in this volatile this type of volatile market. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if Apple, then who? I mean, that's the thing, because like Apple's just to that point where, I mean, unless if they just totally like take a 180 on how they run their company, I don't see why they wouldn't be the $1 trillion company. Yeah. Well, and see, what cracked me up about that is everybody started rushing in to buy, right? Everyone started rushing in to buy Apple, and it started to shoot up after CNBC did that whole Warren Buffett shit, and he's like, yeah, we bought some Apple recently, blah, blah, blah. Guys, you realize when he probably bought Apple, right? He probably bought it down here. Nowhere near where people were buying it way up here. I mean, either way, Apple's probably going to 200 to 220 within the next who knows how many years or months even. But it just cracks me up because, like, I'll still see people saying Warren Buffett's buying Apple. It's like, no, I highly doubt Warren Buffett's buying Apple right now. Warren Buffett bought Apple probably in the 150s, 160s, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually cashed out on some of it, in all honesty. Probably not, because he's the type that buys now and holds forever, but it's just funny how CNBC, they timed it perfectly too, because if I remember right, we were in kind of iffy time. I don't remember when they released that exactly, when they had that interview with Warren Buffett. Wasn't it back in April, if I remember right? If I remember right, we were going through some iffy times in the market again, and right as soon as they did that, it seemed like the market just flipped to 180, and we had like, what was it, 13 out of 16 green days or something like that, something nuts in a row for the market. When people try to say that CNBC does not swing the market, or not even just CNBC, but when news companies can't swing the market, I just kind of laugh at it, because it's like, they kind of do. My TV just went out, so I'm trying to get it rebooted up. But, MU, that is one. I only have one call on it. I went ahead and placed it. I called it out in Discord yesterday. Apparently, it might be just fake news, because I don't see anything on here about it. But I heard news that one of MU's China offices or some shit got raided. Probably fake news, because, I mean, it would have been all over the place right now if that was the case. But, I went ahead and bought one call. Is actually a little high. It's around like $58, $59. So right now it's actually down about $40 if I remember right. But it's a June 15th call as well. I wouldn't be surprised if MU retests like $57 possibly today. But overall, I'm pretty bullish on MU. I think it's super underpriced. If I remember right, it's only trading right now at about 4 times its earnings. So, I mean, if I remember right, it's like 4 to 6, somewhere in there, times its earnings. So, I mean, it has a lot of potential to go up. I heard it got downgraded by a company, but all they did was they didn't even like change their price target. It was like still at $65 if I heard right yesterday. So I think it was Morgan Stanley, wasn't it? Let me see here. I forget. Either way, I definitely think it's going to come back up to like north of $62 to $64, probably next week in all honesty. But yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I was thinking about picking up a few more calls whenever we dipped under 57. The only thing that worried me is when it comes to MU, every time it seems to peak, it peaks hard. It peaks hard. It sells off hard for like weeks, and we have lots of room to make up on the 180-day SMA. I mean, I don't see it coming down to the SMA. I see it coming down possibly like 56, but when is earnings anyway? 620. That's after my contract, but overall, I am still pretty bullish on it. It's just I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket or too many eggs in one basket and then end up getting burned. Even if the one call ends up doing good, my target is about 20% profit on that. If I remember right, 20% profit on that was going to be like, I forget how much exactly. I want to say like $75 or something like that. Might be a little less. But profits are profits at the end of the day. It's just, that's my goal at the end of the day. It's just to be able to try to close one position a day. I mean, I don't care how much it is. I mean, if I can close more than that, I'm not going to, if I'm in the profit, pretty much I'm locking it. I'm not going to hold it overnight, especially in this market, or over the weekend especially, because in this market we know we can wake up Monday morning, market flip a 180, and then your profits can literally go from up here to literally, especially when it comes to options, to literally 180 reverse and be down that much. Like XOP, for example. I took my girlfriend to work yesterday, and I looked down at my phone at a stoplight, and XOP had spiked up, and my option went from like minus 20 to up 76 or something like that. And I looked at it, and I was like, okay, so it's bullish now. I'll go ahead and wait till I get home. I was only like 10 minutes from home, maybe less. I got home, it was back to like break even. It was like plus $5. So I was like, god damn. I was like, I should have just went ahead, locked the profit, moved on. So that's pretty much what I'm doing going forward. Again, it's just locking the profits. If I can close one position a day, that's like up $100 roughly. I mean, profits are profits at the end of the day. No point in trying to, like I said with Apple. I could have held Apple. I probably would have made like another $30 probably if I would have held it. But, I mean, is the $30 potential worth the 153 that I locked? That's what you have to kind of take into consideration. MS downgrade. MS, okay. Yeah, Morgan Stanley. But yeah, so I mean, if you guys are just wondering like what I'm watching out for, see, UVXY is on the rise now. Even though, where's VIX? I might actually get ready to place some. I might get ready to place some SPY puts. I mean, it hasn't really moved. What's causing UVXY to go up? Let me pull up SPY here. I know UVXY and SPY aren't like inverse or anything, but they're pretty damn close. I wonder if SPY is getting ready to shoot up to 274. Oh, but like I mentioned this yesterday, I have a drip call, or two actually, I think, 2 or 3 actually, to kind of hedge my XOP. They're pretty much canceling each other out right now. Like one's up a few dollars, the other one's down. Like I think XOP is down now, probably a little bit more. It looks like it's sold off. My drip might actually be in the green again. They've been just all day today. They've been just canceling each other out. You can see up and down, down and up. I need to check that really quickly. The SPY might be getting ready to break out some more. Might get ready to leg up again. Either that, I forget which VIX ETF it is that's inverse of S&P 500. If you guys remember, I thought I had it in my watch list. If you guys know off the top of your head, let me know. I forgot off the top of my head. I've just been playing UVXY just because it goes pretty much literally inverse of the market. I mean, it's still down 7% on the day, but that's not really a lot when the market's up 1% overall. So let me see here where my drip is. So no, drip is still down a little. I'll keep an eye on it. SPY overall's up almost $3 on the day. Again, there's no way in hell anyone could talk me into buying calls on SPY at this price. I just don't understand why people would. It's like, were you trying to do buy high, sell low? I mean, it just doesn't make sense why anyone would do that. It's on an upward trend. I mean, yeah, it is. Like I said, overall, I'm still pretty bullish overall on SPY. Like I said, I think still within June, like this month is a very critical month, I think, for where we're going to go. I said back in May that I thought at the latest, early June is when we're going to know where we're going to go. I still think that. I think by like, I thought originally by this week we'd know, but of course with all the Trump shit, we've kind of just been yo-yoing, as you can see, this week. And then it's a short week on top of that. Low volume on Tuesday on top of that. I'm still thinking here within the next week we're really going to have a crystal clear direction on where we're going to go. I mean, this line obviously is not like 100% accurate. Obviously, we can have major sell-offs, but I don't want to see SPY retest 267 again, in all honesty. Like, say Monday or Tuesday we have a sell-off, because just based on recent trends, we will. When it does, I want to see it really, again, around 270, maybe 269 at the lowest is the lowest I would want to see a sell-off go. If it goes and tries to retest 267 again, then, I mean, there's just no way anyone can really say that we're in a bull market. It just means we're essentially still stuck in this wedge of 267, 268 to 274, or even let's give it 275 for some wiggle room. You're just within pretty much $8 range, so to speak, when it comes to SPY. So it's just play it wisely. I mean, like I said, why try to change up how you're doing stuff until the trend is broken? Like, say we wake up Monday and SPY is at like 276. Then yeah, I mean, the trend's broke. I would probably officially say by then we are back to a bull market. Like, the bull market's continuing on. But what's the chances on that, in all honesty? I mean, you kind of have to have your expectations a little realistic. Oil is still down about 63 cents. See, UVXY is creeping back up, which doesn't really make sense since VIX isn't really. It's starting to try to, but it's not. It's still, again, it's just been hanging out around 1340 to 1350 on the high end. We're at 1347 right now. It's interesting to see. Check our stream really quickly. We got 4 of you tuning in. Hopefully you guys are having a good morning. Like I said, if anyone's new and you're wondering, like, yes, I try to do these every single day. Live stock market trading. I do 99.99% options anymore, just because the risk reward is just so much greater versus having to actually buy stocks. It's less expensive for the most part. Like SPY, for example, you could place multiple puts on SPY for the price it would cost to buy one SPY position alone, and you can make money off the market going down, which I love. So I mean, you can literally make money in the bear market, bull market, sideways market, which is why I like buying and selling options so much. I haven't really started selling options yet because it does take a lot more money to do so, but in the future I probably will do covered calls and stuff like that, selling covered calls and all that good stuff. But so, if you're just into networking with a bunch of like-minded people, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below, and check out our free Discord group chat. Everything with me is always 100% free. I'm not here to like make money off anybody or anything. I'm just looking to, again, I haven't even been trading that long. I've been trading since about February, mid-February to be exact, when the market was tanking essentially. And I've learned more just from networking with a bunch of you guys than you'll probably ever learn from me. I think Tyler's actually the one that introduced me to the idea of options, and ever since then this has been a lot more fun, I'll just put it that way. But yeah, for some reason I got a feeling that SPY's kind of hit its high. UVXY still rising. This is the highest UVXY has been, like, pretty much all day. Other than this morning, this is pretty much the highest it's been all day. VIX is up to 1353. We'll see. Nah, no responsibility. Just the introduction. What about Facebook, though? I saw that was like within 1% of all-time highs. Let's see how expensive the SPY puts are anyways. So SPY puts for June 15th. What I'd be doing probably is a 274 put. It costs $289, down about 42% on the day. So to break even by June 15th, it would need to go down to about 271. That would be obviously if I held it until expiration. Most of you all know I don't like holding my contracts that long. Like I said, as soon as it's in the profit, I'm looking to sell. Now, I'm not saying anything like $5, $10. We're talking good amounts, like it depends on the contract, of course, because like obviously with smaller, when I'm messing around with like Apple or XOP, something that's a little more cheaper, like $100 contract, if I'm up $30 to $40, yeah, I'll go ahead and cover it because that's like 30% obviously. But with something that's about $300, I'm looking for a good, probably roughly $7,500 profit, obviously, because that's still around 25-30%, if not a little bit more, since it's at $289. But if you were to hold it for the whole, let's break down everything. So implied volatility is 12.84%. Love it. You want your implied volatility to be really low when you're buying options, because you actually make a little bit of money as implied volatility goes up. Chance of profit around 36%. Not bad for buying options. When you buy options, your chance of profit is usually around 30 to 40% at the highest usually, unless if you're going way out like monthly or like 2 months out. The further you go out, obviously the higher potential for profit you have, which is why it costs so much more. But 36% is not that bad for a 2-week option. The open interest is 17,600, not too bad. Volume on the day over 5,300. The theta is minus 0.09, 0.0923 now, just went up a little bit. Not much though. Delta is minus 0.5. And then obviously you have your Vega, Gamma, and then all that. But the ones that, like I said, I don't try to get too involved with the Greeks. I mean, you do need to know them, of course. But the ones that what I focus on the most is, number one, implied volatility. You obviously want it to be really low when you're buying options. Want it to be high when you're selling options. Because when you're selling options, you want the price to be coming down. I mean, you want the implied volatility to be coming down. And when you're buying options, you want it to be going up. So with it being around 12-13%, that's amazing. And then I focus on theta. Those are the two that I mainly focus on the most. And then obviously you want to look at your open interest and volume and whatnot. Because if there's not a lot of volume going into it, then it's not necessarily that it's a bad move, but it is at the same time. Because if you're the only one that's really looking at, like say the volume was like 100, I mean that's not, that's probably not a very, it's not necessarily saying do what everyone is doing, but you don't want to be like the only one doing that option, because it's probably not going to be any good. 12% is hella good. Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it just went up to 12.9, but yeah, I mean, that's super. I'm surprised actually that it's that low. But, and yeah, I mean, the chance for profit, 35.7%, that is not bad for buying a 2-week option. So, I mean, I might definitely play this one. It's up to $2.91 already. It just went up $2 just since we've been talking about it. I really think overall the markets are going to end up about 0.75 to 1%, between 0.75 and 1% on the day in the green. I mentioned yesterday actually on the stream, if I remember right, that I just felt like today was going to be a pretty big green day. I said on the low end probably, or did I say low end or high end? I said about 0.25%, 0.5%, either way on the high end. So I guess I got that pretty right. Like I said, I always try to bet a little more conservatively. I thought today was going to be a pretty big green day. I just didn't know how much. Obviously, none of us know at the end of the day, but again, just go based off those recent trends. I just want to see if we're gonna try to make another new high here, or have we already peaked on the day? Our RSI is not high or anything. Check out old VIX. 1354 now. It's kind of consolidating right now. What about UVXY? Looks like it might have just... I'll be keeping... I hope I'm not like... I feel like whenever I'm looking like this, I'm all up in the camera. I hope I'm not like all up in the camera or anything. But, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on these for sure, because it'll be interesting to watch. I want to see if SPY is forming a peak of some sorts. So drip might go green for me today. I know it's pretty close to green as it is. Wow, SPY just had a big... That SPY call just went up. SPY put just went up $9 on this little... I'm not going to make the move right now, though. I mean, like I said, I want to see if it's just cooling off everything, because I mean it's been just going straight up essentially all day today with very little resistance, and like we keep saying though, 274 super strong resistance. I thought we'd get a little closer than 273.72 in all honesty, but it's definitely starting to look like it's out of gas. I'll be keeping a close eye on it. I know Josh actually, he placed a June 4th call, it sounded like, on SPY. He just started doing options. I haven't heard from him actually today, but he placed one yesterday, so I'm assuming that was some pretty good profit he raked in. Hopefully he locked it in some point. He could still lock it in now even, but I'm assuming that was some pretty good profit for him, because I know he's working with a pretty small account, so that could have easily probably made him a good 50% depending on which one he bought. I don't know how much the calls are up today. I know that the puts are down about 40 for 2 weeks out, so I can only imagine what the June 4th ones were looking like. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, like, just this last year. I was like, man, how much longer can Apple keep on producing just the same shit over and over and just make little stupid tweaks like no home button or face recognition, or like how much longer can they keep going with just the same standard phone and keep growing? I heard there were rumors about them possibly making like a flip phone, like a smart flip phone for like older people that like flip phones and whatnot. I know my grandparents would probably love something like that. So I mean, if they do that, I really think if they were to come out with a flip phone, they'd be opening up a wider market when it comes to like older people and whatnot. But I think even that isn't enough. I think they need to do something. They need to overhaul the iPhone overall. And I'm not saying like just, I'm not saying, like, I don't want to say they need to be irrational and completely change everything. Like, still have this, but, like, brand, like, make different options essentially available to everybody. I don't know why it keeps showing. Well, probably because it said retarded. It's like, who cares? I didn't know retarded was a cuss word. But, I'd rather stop. Exactly. I mean, until people... But who's their biggest competitor is Samsung, and every Samsung phone that I've had, I've absolutely hated. So, no, I mean, I don't care. I say it myself. I could go on a whole rant about the whole words have feelings shit. Like, if words have feelings, you need to go see a counselor. So now those SPY puts just came down $17 from the high that since I've looked at them. Again, it's all about getting the stuff on sale. Like every dollar you can save on your contract is essentially another dollar of profit. That's why I always stress I would rather miss out and be like, damn, I should have got in, than be like, shit, I should have waited for a cheaper price. Like I said, SPY might try to... That might have been a bear trap right there, in all honesty. Wow. It's going to make a new high, isn't it? Maybe not. There's a strong resistance right around 273.75. If it can do another leg up, I think we might see 274 today. Yeah, the Pixel's pretty good. I actually worked at a cell phone store, a Verizon one, and I really did like the Pixel. It's just, I don't know. Like, there's just something about, like, FaceTime and everything. Even though I don't even use FaceTime, it's just, like, especially now that, like, I'm away from all of my family and they all have iPhones, that's pretty much my way of keeping in contact, is like through FaceTime. And I know you can like use Skype, and I think Facebook even has a video chat platform, like not platform, like within Messenger, I think, if I remember right now. But everybody just likes to use FaceTime, so that's why I'll probably always have an Apple, to be honest. It's just one of those things, it's like once you get used to something, even though like I don't necessarily like the company, to be honest, it's just one of those things like once you get used to using something for so long, it's hard to really change. I had a Samsung briefly, I think it was a Galaxy S7 or something like that, and absolutely hated it. I hate how oil is fucking moving today. It is not helping me whatsoever. Like, I'm not making any money on drip or XOP today. The theta is hurting me actually today. Even though it's June 15th, the fact that it's not moving. I mean, really? Really? They're literally unched. There we go. New high. Uh-oh. She's running. Now the price of the 274 put is down about $23. You ever use Finviz? Yeah, sometimes. I use it occasionally. Like, I'll hop on here in the morning, pre-market, like right around the bell, and I'll kind of just pull up everything on Finviz, like their main page or whatever, and just kind of see what they've highlighted or whatever. It's like the big movers and everything like that. But, I wouldn't say I use it like a lot, because I don't know how long it's been since I know it's been a while since you've been in the chat, Tyler, but like, I mostly anymore when it comes to options, I mostly play SPY. I play XOP quite a bit, and then I'll use something like drip or something to kind of hedge it, and then occasionally I'll play like UVXY or something that goes inverse of the market, also to try to like hedge my position sometimes. And then obviously, like I said, if there's a blatant obvious opportunity like MU presented, I'll hop in that. Apple was another one on Tuesday. Again, it just has to be blatant obvious. That's when I do use Finviz. I'll look at something like a big company like MU, Apple, Facebook, Baba. Like, when they have big moves, then by all means I'm going to hop in, put calls. Usually I only do calls on them. I don't like to place puts on big companies just because, I mean, it's not really smart to bet against a big company at the end of the day. So when they drop really big, then I play some calls. But for the most part anymore, what I play consistently is SPY, XOP, UVXY. And like I said, I try to like hedge that way, just to kind of have like a little buffer, so to speak. Did they? That usually makes sense, because like what I noticed is with I don't think I have utilities on here either. I probably ought to do that. But what I noticed is anytime the market has a really big day, utilities tend to lag, and whenever the market takes a shit, utilities and what's the other one that usually does good? Utilities and fuck, I can't think. There's another one too, another sector that does really good when the market is down. Let's see if I have another water in here. Yes, I do. Thank you. But yeah, this stream probably won't be like really long or like through the whole market day or anything. Just because I'm probably going to make the rest of my moves pretty quick. I'm not going to wait till like power hour or anything. Because it is Friday after all, and I still have so much to do. This move has been like so much more than like I expected. Like I said yesterday, we still don't even have our car license. We don't have our driver's licenses. It's like so strict down here on like we have to like get our bills switched to like prove our residency. And I mean, I understand why, because like so close to the border and whatnot, but it's just like, God, it's such a pain in the ass. Talking about writing options. Yeah, in the future, I'm actually surprised that I know that term, because I actually bought this book. And I learned that writing options means like selling options essentially. But yeah, this book's taught me a lot too. You can see I got so many like post-it notes and everything inside of it already. I use these to like kind of just mark important things. But this is actually a pretty good book. I think I actually have it in the description box as well, by the way. I think it's like $14 if I remember right, when the price on the back says like $22. But yeah, that book's taught me a lot. It can be risky, but like what I learned about selling options is like the best way to do it is to like selling calls, essentially is what I mean. With selling calls, you want to do like say I wanted to sell calls on SPY, even though I wouldn't because that takes a lot of money. But say I wanted to sell a, I don't know, let's just say end of June, for example. Let's just go to June. Let's say I wanted to sell June 29th, for example. Sell a June call. What I would do is probably do something like a, I don't even know. Let's just say it's only, the only thing with selling calls is it takes a lot of money, because when you just sell one call, you're not gonna make a lot of money. It's unless if you have tons of money, essentially, because like say, because you have to have enough money to be able to cover the 100 shares of SPY, which is a lot of money. Obviously, you're talking like what, 27,000 or something like that. So say you wanted to sell the 279 June 29th call. Say you're like, there's no way it's getting to 279 by the end of June. A 279 call, you would collect a $61 premium, and your chance of profit is essentially 83%. It's just, you just have to have quite a bit of money. That's the only thing with selling calls. Like I said, I'm talking like super long term. I mean, that's like more for whenever my accounts, like this thing just keeps making new highs. Whenever like I'm to the point essentially where like I have so much money in my account that I just want literally like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Passive income. And it's not necessarily that you don't want you essentially want your option to be exercised, like you want the person to exercise the option, so you don't want to set it too far out, because one, you're going to get less premium, and two, like you want it to be, most of the time it gets complicated because there's so many ways you can do it, but like you want it to be called away, because then you're making money as the stock goes up. Say it goes up to, say you bought it right now, 273, you had 100 shares at 273. It goes up to 279. Well, you just made what, $600 on it going up, and then you also collect the premium. So, but the only downside to it is say you set it at 279, it spikes up to 285. They can exercise that option. You still have to sell it to them at 279, so you're missing out on that additional profit. That's where it can get risky. That's where it can get kind of risky too. I don't think you can sell naked calls on Robinhood though, because when I tried to sell some calls, it said I didn't have enough collateral or whatever, and when I did the math, they were pretty much saying like you don't have enough money to cover the 100 shares. Unless if my math was wrong, because I tried to sell calls on HTZ and it wouldn't let me. It said that I had to have like $2,500 or something like that. When I did the math, 100 shares was roughly at that time, well, not 25, it was about 1,600 actually. When I did the math, it was like it was like 1,600 in collateral or something like that it said I had to have. Once I'm a millionaire? Yeah, once I'm a millionaire. Yeah, for sure. I wonder if you can on, what's that one? Tastyworks. I was thinking about going back to Tastyworks in all honesty, just because what the price shows on Tastyworks is like, Robinhood is slightly behind, of course, so whenever it shows like your option can get filled at blah blah blah, when you're trying to sell it, like collect your profit, you always have to almost go like $1 or $2 less. It's a pain in the ass. Where like Tastyworks, I noticed every time I would sell my option, like close the option, close the contract, whatever, close the position, it was like instant. Like I didn't have to bid $1 less or any BS like that. It was just, as soon as I placed it, boom, sold. It wouldn't take all day to get filled or anything like that. Whereas Robinhood, it's I mean, it's like I keep saying, it's like one of those things that you get what you pay for. I mean, it's free, so I mean, what do you expect for free at the end of the day? I heard too that TD Ameritrade's offering like 90 days of free trades too, or something like that right now. I was thinking about giving that a try too. I think all of them anymore offer you a certain amount of free trades. I think E-Trade does too, if I remember right. I don't know about Schwab. I know Schwab in general charges you like $4.95 per trade or something like that, with 50-cent contracts or something like that. $90 days through E-Trade. For some reason, I feel like SPY is not done today. Let me look at the option that I was looking at now. June 15th, buy a put. The 274 put is now 276, down about 45% on the day. So I mean, when you think about it, got a comment on a video. When you think about now 273, so it's down literally about 45% on the day. So if you make just back that 45% alone, think about it. You're essentially going to make about what? At least $125, $130. Now, obviously, that's not like guaranteed or anything, but when you see these big up and down days, that is why I always say buy the dip, sell the rip. Unless if obviously the market's going like full-fledged, just like nuts, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to sit on cash. But like something like this, where like I said, 274, major resistance, we know this. Just play it wisely, and I mean, it's just so obvious. I mean, who's gonna buy calls when the market's up? That it just kind of blows my mind. Now, I really, that's another reason why I'm considering going to like Tasty Works or something again, because like you can use you don't have to use like an instant, which is pretty much, it's not a margin account. I went through a whole thing about this where like Robinhood makes you use a margin account, blah blah blah. They make you use margin account rules, so to speak. Where like their instant account, it gets so fucking nuts like trying to explain it. But like with Tasty Works, and I'm sure with all the other ones, for example, you can use a straight up cash account, like period, like pretty much the Robinhood basic account, so to speak, where you pretty much have unlimited day trades as long as you're trading with settled funds. Meaning, like, say I bought a SPY option for 280 right now, and it went up to 320, and I sold it for the $40 profit. Well, I wouldn't be able to use that 340 until not only that day, but the following business day, pretty much trade day plus one. Then those funds would be available. But the rest of my, what would that be, 600 in cash, I would still be able to trade with. It wouldn't count. There's no 3-day trades and a sliding 5-day BS, anything like that. Or with Robinhood Instant, it's pretty much kind of like margin account rules, where unless if you have the $25,000, you can't do but 3-day trades in a sliding 5-day period. I accidentally placed a fourth one covering profits on XOP. They told me I can no longer day trade until August, and if I try to do a day trade before August, then they're going to lock my account for 90 days. So that's another reason why I'm considering going to Tasty Works. Now, with Tasty Works still, and I'm sure, like I said, that's probably how it is with the other ones, if you happen to make a trade with unsettled funds, like say, like I said, for example, say this went from 280 to 320, I sold it, then I used that money to buy another stock, and then try to use those unsettled funds and make another day trade with that, then that would violate the PDT rule, and they give you 4 strikes with Tasty Works, and then they lock your account for a year. So it gets so complicated. I'm sure a lot of people probably just got lost by everything I just said. It's just PDT. End of the day, PDT is a fucking joke. It needs to be eliminated altogether. Hopefully someday it will be, but until then, you just kind of have to try to work around it. And it's a pain in the ass with Robinhood, is all I'll say, especially when it comes to options. And that's what I was getting ready to hit on. When it comes to options, I mean, if I could day trade with options right now, I'd make so much money on SPY. Because literally, buy every dip, sell it, put puts, make money, sell the puts. But obviously you have to have settled cash to do so. Ew, life will be so much easier after 25K. Or PDT is taken out. Yeah, something's telling me that this thing is not done yet today. I mean, it's just going. How's everything else? I didn't even think about that. Wow. UVXY still a little high. So the Dow Jones is up 240, essentially up about 1% still. Obviously SPY is up just over 1% right now. UVXY minus 6.7. Oil playing a bunch of bullshit games. MU rebounding a little bit. Again, price target roughly $61. That's why I went ahead and set alert at 60.75. That way, if for some reason it spiked while I was in the pool or something, I'd be notified and be able to check it. That's another thing I'm doing too, is I bought a phone case off Amazon. You all probably have seen it before. They're really cheap, actually. It's only like $6. It's like almost kind of like a baggie, like a waterproof case. It almost kind of looks like a baggie, to be honest, but it's not. And that way I'll be able to trade out in the pool. Since I live in Texas, I'll be in the pool a lot, obviously. And I don't want to have to like get out of the pool every time I hear ding ding. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. We don't have too much activity going on in the chat. Only me and Tyler chatting it up some. I don't know how many we've had in here. Hopefully my stream and everything's doing alright. We got 4 of you still. We've already been on for over an hour. Like I said, I'm probably not going to be on here like too long or anything. I just wanted to, again, start to at least get back in the rhythm of doing live streams. Hopefully every day during the week. Like I said yesterday, with moving and everything, and then lately with doing this full time, I started having kind of like dizzy and blurry spells again, so it was kind of scary, and I didn't want to try to do a stream while being like out of it. I would rather do no stream at all than do a half-ass quality stream, and besides, it's not good for my health anyways. And I got these, like I said, these are like blue light, what are they called? Blue light, pretty much anti-blue light glasses. Like, it keeps blue light from coming in and like hurting my eyes or whatever. It was called computer vision syndrome or something like that, CVS, if you're wanting to look it up or whatever. It just makes you like excessively tired, dizzy, fatigued, all this other stuff that obviously can hurt you as a trader or hurt your life in general. And yeah, I know, I seen that. I actually called that out on Discord, if I remember right. Oh no, I think it was actually Adam's group on WhatsApp. But yeah, Lulu's up huge, like just recently. I mean, it's just boom, just took off recently. I would not put puts against it though, to be honest. I mean, man, but it's up 17%. I mean, is that realistic? I don't know. I've tried putting puts on ones like this before. Tizu is a prime example. I'm sure it's probably fucking... No, it's still going up. But, This is another one that I like placed puts on. This was one of my first options plays, and it burned me like big time. Like I placed it whenever it was like right in here, and I was like, oh, this thing's gotta come down, and it's obviously just kept on going up. So be careful. Lulu is a much better company than Travel Zoo, if you ask me. So I probably would not do any options with this. But man, if you had calls on it today, whoo. But yeah, the whole point about just like the computer vision syndrome thing or whatever, I don't even know if that's what I have in all honesty. I was just like, these glasses are cheap, I'll go ahead and give them a try, and if worse comes to worse, if I don't notice any changes within like the next week or two, then I'll go actually see an eye doctor. And if the eye doctor's like, there's nothing really wrong with your eyes, then I'll go see like a real doctor and maybe get like a, what they call it, an MRI or whatever they do to like check out your brain and body and stuff, just to be safe rather than sorry. I don't think it's anything crazy, because like I haven't been like sick or anything. It's just been like mostly vision related, headaches and vision. Like I'm not hallucinating or anything like that. It's just kind of just like, ooh, sometimes no fun. One thing I do notice about these glasses is like after I take them off and I go outside, my eyes are super sensitive. Like I have to wear sunglasses now when I go outside. I didn't used to have to do that, but I heard a lot of people have to whenever they wear these glasses. So I had a feeling this thing wasn't done yet today. Man, I should have placed a call yesterday. I was considering it too, but I was like, man, what if this market keeps slipping today? It's funny I say that because yesterday in the stream, I said I think today was going to be a green day, yet in the back of my head, I was still like, well, I'd rather play it safe because it could go 180 and continue to slide like we've seen in February and March, so I didn't want to. I think whenever Tuesday came and we hit, what was it, 267, I think that kind of just scared me because, like I said, 270 was kind of what I called the make or break, at least from my technical analysis. When someone pointed out to me that 267 was more of the ultimate support, it started to make more sense. I just think too much sometimes, in all honesty. Wow, are we going to hit 274? Straddles and spreads, yeah. Yeah, because, like, right now, all that I really do is try to kind of, like, hedge my position. Like, say I put a put on SPY, I'll also do something like I did with XOP and DRIP, essentially. DRIP wasn't the best one to do it with, in all honesty. But, like, what I tend to do is, like, say I'm going to put a put on SPY, which I'm probably going to today. What I'll do kind of to hedge it a little is maybe put a, just one single put on UVXY. It's not going to cancel out or anything, but it just gives it a little buffer. That way, if say this continues to go up a little bit on Monday and or Tuesday, this is obviously going to go down, and I can at least collect a little profit from this in the meantime until this actually makes me money. It's more of a psychological thing for me, because let's be real, no one likes to look at just nothing but losers on their account. So that way, if I can at least lock a little bit of profit while this is getting its act together, so to speak, it's just more of a psychological thing. But, and risk, obviously, like you were saying, straddles and spreads, yeah. Like vertical spread. I heard that Robinhood is actually getting ready to release, they said advanced option strategy. So I'm really interested to see when and how that's going to look. I'm assuming they're talking about, like, vertical spreads. What else is there? Like the butterfly. Oh, there's so many different ones. I can't even think of them off the top of my head. Iron condors. I'm wondering if they're going to do stuff like that. Can you? Fuck. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. I thought I seen the put just went up like $30, but I was looking at the wrong one. You hold down multiple strike prices. You hold down multiple strike prices with your finger. That isn't working for me, so I might need to look and see if I have a Robinhood update or something. So you said hold down multiple strike prices with your finger. Yeah, it's only letting me click on one still. I'll have to look into it this afternoon and see if there's an update that I need to do. But yeah, I think where most people, when it comes to like their entry points for like puts and calls and all that stuff, is like they almost get a little too cocky when it comes to the recent movement of a stock or ETF, whatever, like SPY. Like we said, right now it's pretty much 270 to 274 roughly as your target zone. I think where most people get messed up is they kind of get too complacent with their technical analysis, and they think, okay, by June 15th I expect it to come back down to 271, and they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna do a 271 put. Wow, it's only $154 versus the 273 that's at 225. I'm gonna save that extra 75 and just load up on 271 puts, get like 2 or 3 instead of just 1 or 2 273, 274 puts. And it's like, while that can give you more profit if it goes perfect for you, there's a lot more risk. The more out of the money you go, the more risk there is. I mean, it even shows, like, let's look at the potential for profit. The potential for profit drops 10% from the 274 put to the 271 put. We're at 26% even on chance for profit with a 271, 615 put, where if you do it in the money, well, I guess that's technically just at the money now. 274, that's pretty much in the money. 274 put, the potential for profit is still 35%. So you're literally talking, like I said, about a 10% difference in profit, which is a pretty big difference when it comes to your option plays. Yes, there is more potential for overall profit, like bigger profit. It's just a lot more risk at the end of the day, and I don't like playing the risk card anymore. I've had some really good ones that paid out for like 100 to 200% profit, but it's just not worth it. I would rather lock consistent, and I've still locked in over 100% profit, even doing in the money, at the money calls and puts. You can still make 200% profit. It's just, is that extra 10%, 20% profit worth the risk at the end of the day? To me, it's not. I'll take my 30, 50, 100% profit any day of the week over having to look at the stock over and over and over throughout the day, hoping that it goes the direction that I like absolutely have to have it go in. But yeah, I mean, nothing much is really going on right now, so I guess I'll go ahead and start wrapping this up. It's getting near lunchtime for me, so I need to, my stomach just had a big growl. I doubt you all heard it, but I'm getting pretty hungry. So, I mean, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, if you have not already joined the Discord chat, definitely consider checking it out. It's one of the first few links in the description box. Love to have you over there. We go in the voice chat pretty often, and I'm always updating you guys with anything I'm looking out for and any moves that I make with profit and everything like that. It's really easy to get one-on-one contact with me through there. So we'd love to have you over there. And if you haven't already, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here as well. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there making those profits, covering your profits, being smart with your money, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I will see you guys hopefully Monday, if not Sunday, for a Sunday stock watch possibly. But take it easy, guys.